at the prospect of a little social diversion. The moment they had retired to the hotel for luncheon, Betsy called up her car and rushed baby Caroline over to her house. She stuffed her into baby niece's best pink and white embroidered frock, borrowed a hat of Irish lace, some pink socks and white slippers, and set her picturesquely upon the green lawn under a spreading beech tree. A white aproned nurse, borrowed also from baby niece, plied her with bread and milk and gaily colored toys. By the time prospective parents arrived, our Caroline, full of food and contentment, greeted them with coos of delight. From the moment their eyes fell upon her they were ravished with desire. Not a suspicion crossed their unobservant minds that this sweet little rosebud was the child of the morning. And so, a few formalities having been complied with, it really looks as though baby Caroline would live in the Towers and grow into a leading citizen. I must really get to work, without any further delay, upon the burning question of new clothes for our girls. With the highest esteem, I am, dear ma'am, your most humble servant, Sal McBride. June 19th. My dearest Judy, listen to the grandest innovation of all, and one that will delight your heart. No more blue gingham! Feeling that this aristocratic neighborhood of country estates might contain valuable food for our asylum, I have of late been moving in the village social circles, and at a luncheon yesterday I dug out a beautiful and charming widow who wears delectable flowing gowns that she designs herself. She confided to me that she would have loved to have been a dressmaker, if she had only been born with a needle in her mouth instead of a golden spoon. She says she never sees a pretty girl badly dressed but she longs to take her in hand and make her over. Did you ever hear anything so apropos? From the moment she opened her lips she was a marked man. I can show you 59 badly dressed girls, said I to her, and you have got to come back with me and plan their new clothes and make them beautiful. She expostulated, but in vain. I led her out to her automobile, shoved her in, and murmured, "John Grier home," to the chauffeur. The first inmate our eyes fell upon was Sadie Kate, just fresh, I judge, from hugging the molasses barrel, and a shocking spectacle she was for any aesthetically minded person. In addition to the stickiness, one stocking was coming down, her pinafore was buttoned crookedly, and she had lost a hair ribbon. But, as always, completely at ease, she welcomed us with a cheery grin, and offered the lady a sticky paw. "Now," I said in triumph, "you see how much we need you. What can you do to make Sadie Kate beautiful?" "Wash her?" said Mrs. Livermore. Sadie Kate was marched to my bathroom. When the scrubbing was finished and the hair strained back and the stocking restored to seemly heights, I returned her for a second inspection. A perfectly normal little orphan. Mrs. Livermore turned her from side to side and studied her long and earnestly. Sadie Kate by nature is a beauty, a wild, dark, gypsy-ish little colleen. She looks fresh from the windswept moors of Connemara. But oh, we have managed to rob her of her birthright with this awful institution uniform. After 5 minutes' silent contemplation, Mrs. Livermore raised her eyes to mine. "Yes, my dear, you need me." And then and there we formed our plans. She is to head the committee on clothes. She is to choose 3 friends to help her. And they, with the 24 best sewers among the girls, and our sewing teacher, and 5 sewing machines, are going to make over the looks of this institution. And the charity is all on our side. We are supplying Mrs. Livermore with the profession that Providence robbed her of. Wasn't it clever of me to find her? I woke this morning at dawn and crowed. Lots more news. I could run into a second volume, but I am going to send this letter to town with Mr. Witherspoon, who, in a very high collar and the blackest of evening clothes, is on the point of departure for a barn dance at the country club. I told him to pick out the nicest girls he danced with to come and tell stories to my children. Is it dreadful, the scheming person I am getting to be? All the time I am talking to anyone, I am silently thinking, what use can you be to my asylum? There is grave danger that this present superintendent will become so interested in her job that she will never want to leave. I sometimes picture her a white-haired old lady, propelled about the building in a wheeled chair, but still tenaciously superintending her 4th generation of orphans. Please discharge her before that day. Yours, Sally. End of Part 13.